Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back. Now, I know what you're thinking. Bro, Legends has just come out like 2 seconds ago, and we're already talking about Generation 9. Well, yes, because as I keep playing this game, this generation keeps coming to my mind. I keep thinking to myself, how can they implement X system to fit it in a more traditional Pokemon title? Now, it's no secret that Legends is not a perfect game, but I also don't think it's a bad game, and has really turned the Pokemon formula on its head after years of what many consider heavy stagnation. In this video, I want to discuss what exactly Pokemon Legends does right and which features should make their way to a Generation 9 title. Now, these features won't just be able to be copy-pasted. There will have to be some level of tinkering for them to work in a more modern or traditional Pokemon setting with more conventional mechanics, but I really do think that Legends brought forth some really cool stuff, and if outfitted properly, it could make the next generation of Pokemon an even bigger step in the right direction. That said, make sure to sit back, relax, and let's dive right in. Now, before we jump into this, I want to say I do have a video planned going over what I think needs to be improved upon in Pokemon Legends, so definitely stay tuned for that because, like I said in the intro, the game is not perfect, and despite the fact that most people are either overhyping or bashing the game, I think there's definitely a place on the internet for a more constructive approach to criticism and praise. So for this video, we're going to be looking at what Legends does good or right, and how I think these specific aspects of the game would actually influence Pokemon moving forward in a very positive way. I'll be thoroughly disappointed if Generation 9 does not take some of these features because it would be a shame for them to go to waste. So first up is exploration. Now, I know people are going to say in the comments that the world's fairly empty and there's just Pokemon sitting around and stuff like that. And while I do agree that they could fill up the world a lot more, I do like the idea of being able to explore various areas and not be stuck in an extremely linear path like Generation 8. Even though Pokemon Legends Arceus is a segmented world with open areas instead of a straight up open world game, I do think this actually works for Pokemon, and I don't have a problem with them keeping it this way. If they want to go the full open world route, they would have to introduce some type of level scaling, especially with gym leaders, but with a segmented open world like this, you could have a couple gyms in each area that are similarly leveled, and you could travel between areas once you've progressed enough. One of my biggest gripes with Pokemon Sword and Shield, other than the fact that the game had very poor level scaling, is the lack of exploration. Caves felt like a straight line, routes felt like a straight line. The entire game just feels like a walking simulator in terms of its exploration, and that's honestly kind of sad. I want to experience the, oh, what's that? Every time I go off the beaten path. And I've got to say, I actually felt that in Legends, even if the world isn't as full as I'd like it to be. This sort of leads into my next point. Overworld Pokemon definitely need to take over the games fully. Random encounters, while a pretty traditional method of most RPGs, do feel a tad outdated. It's not that they're bad, but I feel like overworld encounters are just objectively better. After playing a game like Monster Hunter Stories 2 or Shin Megami Tensei 5 and then going back and playing something like Temtem, the frustration of running into wild encounters, especially in caves, is really annoying. Now, Sword and Shield mostly got rid of random encounters, but I'd like them to completely get rid of them. Shinies also need to start appearing in the overworld just like they did in Let's Go, and I'd like to see the Pokemon models get a greater level of expression. The models in Legend Arceus are a step up from Sword and Shield. I mentioned the Onix that sort of just sits and falls asleep, and while that's not a big thing, it definitely helps. I'd like to see them keep improving. Next is battles. I want to see Generation 9 keep the normal battle system with abilities and regular status effects like freezing, actually freezing, but I want them to be seamless like they are in Legends. Diving into a battle without having to transition into a new screen is actually really nice, and it's something that both Monster Hunter Stories and Shin Megami Tensei 5 didn't do, and I don't see a lot of people who are comparing the games at least give Legends credit for that. I think it's a nice feature. Even if you hate everything else about the game, you have to admit that this mechanic's pretty cool, and is definitely something that should stay. In a 2D setting, transitioning doesn't feel like a break of pace because you have to sort of change perspective, and your imagination is filled a little more when you're playing a 2D game. Like, for example, Palatown has like 3 houses, but you kind of imagine in your head that it's a bigger town. Whereas as the games get more realistic and are from a perspective that we can understand and sort of perceive, 2 houses in a town looks a lot more jarring. And I can't stress enough, they have to get rid of the stupid voids. I'm sick and tired of voids. Voids suck. I don't believe that Generation 9 needs to have any of the action mechanics of Legends Arceus, like roll dodging and being able to move around during a battle, or even catching Pokemon in the overworld, despite the fact that actually I like this this mechanic, even though I thought I wasn't going to like it. But the seamless battles definitely need to come back, and they need to stay for the long haul. Finally, the last thing I want to touch on, and I'm sure there's more stuff, I'm kind of just coming up with this stuff off the top of my head, is side quests. Now, if you think back, most Pokemon games, you'll actually notice that side quests are very few and far in between. You have areas that you can explore and like little tiny like NPCs that are kind of just chilling and will say something that's optional or whatever, but you don't have like full-fledged side quests. While Legends side quests aren't super deep, a lot of them are fun. Like there's this one where you have to chase these Apoms down, and then the Apoms still end up just stealing stuff from the guy that requests you to fix it. And stuff like that adds to world building. So I want to see more side quests and, a big list of side quests like we have now. All in all, despite what your opinion is on Legends Arceus, it definitely brought forth some mechanics that will be very beneficial to Pokemon as a whole. From what we saw with Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu, it is possible for mechanics that did benefit the franchise to disappear, so I really hope that that's not the case with Legends. I want Pokemon to continue to improve, especially in its main series, and the fact that the two main developers behind most of modern Pokemon had little work on this game definitely shows that in some ways, this old school of thought can actually hold Pokemon back. Legends Arceus, while not the most innovative thing in the world, is definitely the most innovative Pokemon title we've ever seen. And honestly, I hope Legends becomes a recurring series, exploring different points in the Pokemon timeline over different areas. That said, I do have a few more Legends videos planned for the future that would be pretty interesting to talk about. One is going to be what I think Legends is doing wrong and how they can fix these aspects. Not everything is necessarily negative, but there are definitely things that need to be improved. I also have a video talking about what I want to see in the next Legends title, should that become a thing. And we also have a video coming that is going to talk about certain features that need to be expanded upon for the Legends formula. There's definitely a few. I also made a video back when Legends got announced called Pokemon Legends Mewtwo and Mew. Definitely feel free to check it out. I put a lot of work into that one. I'm really proud of it. All that said, if you are a fan of Pokemon or the overarching monster taming genre as a whole, definitely subscribe to the channel because I put out new content every single day. You can also follow me on Twitter at GymLeaderEd, check out my Discord, and my Patreon, all links below. Special thanks to Dark Persona, Jim Hamilton, and Steel Case, and with that, we'll see you guys next time. Peace.